I've taken thousands of options trades over the last 6 years. I've blown multiple accounts. I've battled every psychological demon you could possibly imagine and made every mistake in the trading book. But now I make 5 to 6 figures a month trading options. In the next 20 minutes, I'll be going over 6 years of options trading knowledge. Lessons that I had to learn the hard way so that you don't have to. So in this video, I'm gonna be going over 6 years of options trading knowledge condensed into 13 of the most important crucial lessons. And using these principles, I've been able to consistently achieve results like this. But I need to be completely honest with you. It took me 6 years to get to where I'm at today. I started trading when I was 12 years old, and it's definitely not as easy as everybody makes it seem. Trading is not a get-rich-quick business. I lost money for 2.5 years straight. And yes, there were times where I definitely wanted to quit. But everything I learned during those difficult times, all the lessons, all the breakthroughs, all the times where I wanted to give up, I'm gonna be sharing with you how I got over them and what I learned in this video. These 13 lessons can save you years of frustration and thousands of dollars in losses. So let's get straight into it. Really quick before I get started, just a reminder that trading is not a get-rich-quick business. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I do not guarantee any results, and this is strictly for educational purposes. Lesson number 1 is you need to treat trading like a business, not an entertainment. Most traders fail because they don't seem to look at trading like a business, but it is. Trading is not just a hobby, not just something you could do in your free time, not just something where you could wake up and decide, oh, I don't want to become a better trader today while you're unprofitable. No, you need to treat trading like a business. You need to have a business plan with every business. Your business plan in trading is your trading plan. So if you're not taking trading seriously and treating it as a business, then you are not going to make it. Think about it. 97 to 99% of traders fail. So do you think that you sitting there treating trading like a hobby instead of a business is going to become part of that 1%? You're not. Trading also has expenses just like any other business. But in other businesses, you kind of pay for equipment and you pay for leads and you pay for, your business value, your business assets. In trading, it's different. In trading, you pay the cost. Your business expenses are your losses. And that cost gives you value. It gives you lessons. It makes you a better trader. So in business, your business expenses could be like equipment, but in trading, most of your trading expenses are going to be your losses. So you go to college, you spend money, you learn a skill, then you hopefully, you get a job and you spent that money in college so you can get a job and make it back. Same thing with trading, but it's just exponentially better because you could potentially, lose $5,000 and make a lot more than that. When my mindset shifted from treating trading like a side hustle or a hobby to treating it like an actual business and going all in on it, it exponentially changed my trading because I realized wow, I'm treating trading like a video game, but in reality, I should be taking it seriously and treating it like a business. So stop treating your trading like a game. Start treating it as your real life business because that's what it needs to be. Lesson number 2 is that profitable trading is boring. Most traders, they chase adrenaline, excitement, and action, but the truth is that profitable trading is systematic. It's repetitive, it's boring, but that's how it needs to be. The reason that being a boring trader is better because being a boring trader means you're patient. It means you don't chase trades. It means you don't have FOMO. It means you don't always do what you want to do in the market, what you know needs to be done. When I was an unprofitable trader, I was treating trading like a game. I was taking a bunch of trades. I was having FOMO. I was chasing bad setups. I was gambling. But then when I took a step back and I started having patience, I started waiting for trades. I started not taking trades every single day. My trading turned boring, but in return, it made me a lot more money. So if you're having too much fun with your trading, then that's probably a reason that you're losing money because it shouldn't be fun. It shouldn't be, come on, I hope this happens. No, it should be boring. Lesson number 3, quality over quantity. 1 good trade is better than 10 small trades. I used to be sitting there on my computer, taking a million trades every single day, trying to catch every single move. And what would happen, I was take small win, small win, small win, small win, small win, big loss. And I was taking 1 step forward and 3 steps backwards. But then I changed everything. I turned my trading from taking a lot of trades to taking only higher quality trades, and it genuinely helped exponentially grow my account. What would happen is I would slowly make money taking a bunch of trades, but then 1 big loss and I was completely wiped out. When I started focusing on quality over quantity, it genuinely changed everything. I was trading less, making more, focusing on higher quality setups, stressing myself out way less, And I felt like my trading is just so much cleaner than how it was before. When you're taking a bunch of trades, you're trying to catch every single little move. But when you're focusing on quality over quantity, your whole trading shifts. It changes from trying to catch every little move to trying to catch a chunk of a move that you could replicate over and over and over and over again. I don't want to catch every single move. I just want to catch little chunks of the move that I know is replicable and that I could do repetitively for the next 10 years. I'm focused in the long term now. Lesson number 4 is keep it simple. The less indicators, the better. I don't use any crazy complex indicators. I only use 2 indicators. Now let's go over them. So as you guys can see my screen right here, I use 2 indicators. I use the VWAP and I use the 8 EMA. You could use the 8 or the 9 EMA, basically the same thing. I swear, I think sometimes it's 9 EMA an accident on my chart, but it doesn't really matter. What I want to show you guys about these indicators is how they work and how I use them. So first things first, let me go into the settings of the indicators. Inputs for my EMA, style, visibility. Same thing here. Inputs for the VWAP, style, visibility. So these are the 2 indicators that I use. The reason that I only use these 2 indicators is because the cleaner your chart is, the better. You really want to be just focusing on price action. So although I use this VWAP and the 8 EMA, which I'm about to show you guys exactly how I use it, these indicators don't necessarily make the biggest difference to my trading. They're cool, they're important, they help me find some entries and some trend, but again, price action will always be king. So anybody who's telling you that one indicator is gonna make you profitable is lying to you. Lesson number 5 is using the indicators and not fighting the trend. The biggest thing these indicators help me find is the trend. So the VWAP, the volume weighted average price, that's basically the average trading price of the day. So if a stock is above VWAP, it tells me that buyers are in control. And if a stock is under VWAP, it tells me that sellers are in control. I never want to buy calls on a stock if it's under VWAP, and I never want to buy puts on a stock if it's over VWAP. The EMA is the exponential moving average. So the EMA also helps me find the intraday trend, and it helps me know when a stock is too extended. So as we can see on my chart right here, the stock is above VWAP, and then it taps VWAP, it holds it, and as long as it's above VWAP, you don't want to short. What some people do is they try and catch the top of each trade and bet it's gonna go down, but there's no reason to. If the stock is over VWAP, stop trying to trade it to the downside. Instead, just ride the trend. Same thing with the EMA. As you can see, it's just riding the EMA, riding the EMA, riding the EMA. Then it starts to go under the EMA, now it's starting to go down. That doesn't tell me I'm gonna buy puts, but when it gets under the EMA, it could be my sign to sell. I like these indicators a lot. VWAP helps me find the trend. EMA helps me know when to sell, as well as there's some good retest opportunities too. So look at coin, for example. Today, coin above VWAP, right? And what happens? It just rides VWAP, rides VWAP. When it dips, it taps VWAP, it goes right back up, holding VWAP. VWAP is always like a really big area, so you could always buy dips off VWAP, especially when a stock is over pre-market high. So as you can see, just dips on VWAP. Same thing here, dips on VWAP, dips on VWAP. It's above VWAP, you don't want to trade puts on it. So you guys see, like, people, what they'll try and do is they'll try and, oh, this stock's gonna go down, but in reality, you're just gonna get crushed. You're just gonna get crushed. Lesson number 6 is focus on mastering one strategy, one setup. I used to sit there and I used to trade every strategy, every system, trying to trade the MACD strategy, the RSI strategy, supply and demand, support and resistance. But then I stopped and I focused on one strategy that's simple, it works, and I've been trading it every single day since then. It made me over $5,000 today. So let me show you guys the exact strategy that I trade and why you should only stick to one strategy. Every single day I do the same exact thing. I mark the pre-market high and I mark the pre-market low. I wait for a 5-minute close above the pre-market high. Once I get a 5-minute close above the pre-market high, I look for a retest. So as you can see, there's a retest right here. This would be my entry for longs. Then I hold as long as it holds the EMA. Once it gets under the EMA, I sell. So right here is a beautiful trade. You would have made over 100% on this trade. Simple as that. I mark my pre-market high, mark my pre-market low. Stock strong, wait for it to get above pre-market high, trade the retest, and that's it. Look at coin today. 5-minute close over pre-market high, pre-market high retest, then a huge candle. You would have made 60% right here. You always trim on the way up and then you hold the rest till it breaks under the EMA. And as you can see, then it just holds VWAP after. Or you can look at QQQ puts from yesterday. QQQ, you have your pre-market low, 5-minute close under pre-market low retest, then a big dump. This move right here pays probably 200-300%. Just like that. It's simple. You mark the pre-market levels, you enter on the retest, and that's it. Today, I traded this. NVIDIA had a 5-minute close above, retested pre-market high, and I got out of it at previous day high. That's it. That's the strategy. I only trade this strategy and it's repetitive. I don't have to worry about trading all day or anything like that. No, I do it the first hour every single day. If I don't see it, I don't trade it, and I know it works in the long run, so I have nothing to worry about. Lesson number 7 is make sure you have a trading plan before the market opens. So every single day before the market opens, I like to develop my daily bias. So I'll go through the charts, I'll go through pre-market, I'll figure out, okay, what stocks am I focusing on for today? What's the strength today? Is it gonna be a, could this look like a strong day, a weak day? Are the stocks gapping up, gapping down? What sectors are strong? And I basically make my pre-market plan. I figure out what I'm gonna focus on, what I'm gonna look for, and how I wanna trade for that day. You wanna trade, you wanna create your trading plan before emotions kick in so you're prepared. And if you're not prepared, all you're doing is preparing to fail. So I like to say that a lot. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So make sure you're prepared every single morning. You can't wake up 5 minutes before the market opens and expect to make money trading. That's not how it works. You need to be prepared. I say minimum 30 minutes to an hour before the market open. You should be preparing and figuring out what your daily bias is, what your daily plan is, what stocks you want to watch, and then going from there. Lesson number 8. This is one of the most important lessons, and it's journal every single trade. You want to track your entry, your exit, the day you took it, the time you took it, the stock, the option contract, how you felt during it, the day of the week. You want to journal everything so that you can find patterns in your trading. Basically what happens is like, okay, say you take 25 trades, and then say you take 7 losses and 18 wins. But then say all 7 of your losses were on a Thursday. What are you gonna do? You're gonna stop trading Thursdays. Or say your bigger losses are 0 DTE and your small losses are weekly contracts. What are you gonna do? You're gonna stop trading 0 DTE. So the whole point of journaling is basically seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and doubling down on what works. Most traders think they don't need journaling. They skip this process, and that's why they suck. So if you don't wanna suck at trading, then you should journal. Another thing that's like, a lot of traders are genuinely like higher confident people that have egos. And that's horrible because those people think they're always right. So when I was trading, I used to think like everything I was doing is right. But then when I took a step back and I looked at the data, I realized that, what the heck? I'm wrong. What's wrong? I'm wrong with what I think. So look at the data. Don't look at what you think. The data is what matters. Lesson number 9 is have extremely strict stop loss rules. So what does this mean? This means that whatever you're entering into a trade, the first thing you want to think about is not how much money I'm going to make, how good a setup looks. No, the first thing you want to think about is, what is my risk on this trade? And you have to follow that strictly. So for example, my risk is 5-minute closes under my retest spot. If it closes the 5-minute under, you have to get out, you have to follow your plan, you have to follow your risk. The best trader is not the best at winning, but it's the one who's best at losing. So if you want to become a good trader, become the best at losing. Have these rules saved and installed into your head where no matter what, you follow them. And even though there's gonna be times where, damn, I shouldn't have stopped out, or I wish I stopped out, as long as you do the same thing over and over and over and over again, it'll be better in the long run. Lesson number 10 is, when in doubt, lower your sizing. So a lot of traders, they don't have confidence in themselves. They're not taking the right trades. They're not taking trades they should take, taking trades they shouldn't take, and not holding when they should hold. And this is all a position sizing mistake. Position sizing affects traders a lot more than you think. Position sizing is probably one of the reasons a lot of traders fail, is because they can't quite master it. So I want to make it very simple. If you're not confident in your trades, you're not holding your trades as long as you should be, that's a position sizing issue. You need to size less to be able to hold longer, and then slowly grow your sizing with your account. So you should never jump from like 1 to 2K overnight. Like, no. For example, if trading like a 5K account, trade $500. Then when it's the 6K account, trade with $600. Stay very consistent, and when you're in doubt, when you're not that confident, you could lower your sizing. It's okay to lower your sizing, but don't ever jump it too heavy. You want to stay consistent, lower if you're not confident, and then know when to be risk on versus risk off. Really know when to be risk on versus risk off. So if the indexes are trending with your trade, then maybe it's a risk on day. Maybe you could, have more confidence in that trade, hold a little more. But if, say, you're going against the market, then maybe it's a risk-off trade. Lesson number 11 is that discipline separates winners from losers. In trading, it's not about who's the best trader. It's not about who's the most motivated, who wants it the most. It's simply about who's the most disciplined, who follows the rules the best, and who knows what they know needs to be done. I always say this, and it's like, it's you versus 100 traders. So what to make you guys profitable isn't really who's the best trader, who knows the most knowledge, but it's simply gonna be who's the most disciplined. When it's round 12 in that fight where it's you versus the market, are you gonna be able to pull out stuff that you haven't pulled out before, even when you're losing badly? When you're the least motivated, are you gonna be able to stay disciplined? Because that's what it takes. It takes having to do what you know needs to be done, especially when you're the least motivated. So stay disciplined, follow your plan, follow your rules. And it's like, I could tell you this stuff over and over and over again, but it's simply just doing it. Just do it. Just be disciplined. You should be profitable by now. Just be disciplined and know what you know needs to be done. And when you're disciplined in your overall life, it's gonna correlate directly to your trading, which leads me to my next lesson. Lesson number 12, that lifestyle affects your trading. The way you live your everyday life is gonna directly correlate to your trading. When I started consistently going to the gym, it helped my trading discipline. When I started adding up small wins in my life, it directly correlated to my trading. Something as simple as waking up early, making your bed in the morning, going to the gym, having discipline in your overall life is gonna correlate to your trading. So start adding up those small wins in your life, those small wins in your lifestyle, and it's gonna correlate to your trading and help you become better. I was talking to a trader the other day, and he told me that if he doesn't get a perfect sleep level, if his sleep level isn't perfect, he doesn't trade that day. And I was like, why? And he's like, 'cause I'm starting the day off bad. So people are really, really deep into this stuff, like really deep in this stuff. And I'm telling you guys, your lifestyle affects your trading. Trading isn't just a hobby or a game. Trading is a lifestyle. And not everybody's gonna be cut for it. And the truth is, probably a lot of you watching this video aren't gonna be cut for it. So ask yourself, are you willing to put in what it takes to become a profitable trader? Lesson number 13, and this one is so important. It's that sometimes the best trade is no trade. This week, it's Wednesday already, and I didn't take any trades Monday. I didn't take any trades Tuesday, but today I took one trade and I made over $5,000. This is truth, that quality over quantity. A couple trading days can make your month, and I promise you guys, when the market isn't giving you those opportunities, those big days, those big trades, better off not trading, because the less you trade in the higher quality, which I know I keep saying this because it's the truth, the better your trading is gonna be. So it's okay not to trade every single day. It's okay to be fully cash. It's okay to not press every single day. If you don't have that A+ opportunity, then you shouldn't trade every single day, because it's just gonna make you lose. You also have to be a selfish trader. So I miss a lot of trades, and that's because I wait until I get exactly what I want when I want it. And you have to be selfish. So if I don't get what I want and exactly what I want, then I don't take the trade. And that's it. That's 13 lessons. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment any questions, as well as follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are in the bio. And I really, really hope you guys enjoyed. My goal with this channel is to motivate, inspire, bring as many people closer to God, and show that like you can genuinely do this trading stuff. I do it at 18 years old. And if I can do it, then you could too. Just because it's hard right now, just because everybody's doubting you right now, just because you're in a tough time right now, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. You got this. I believe in you. Check the links in my bio if you want to learn more about what I do, how I help traders, and make sure you follow me. Peace.